Today, we're going to be reviewing chapter 1. We're going to be doing numbers to 1000, but we're going to go to section 2 of place value, which we started yesterday. So let's see what we are learning. The learning objectives for today are going to be, I can use a place value chart to read, write, and represent numbers to 10,000. I can read and write numbers to 10,000 in expanded notation, expanded form, standard form, and word form. I can recognize the value of digits in each place value of a 4-digit number. The first thing we're going to do is represent the number we had in the previous slide. So let's do it. The first one is 7,000. So let's count together. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, and 7,000. Now we have 300s, 100, 200, and 300. Now notice how the numbers in the bottom are changing every time I add a base 10 block. Now we have 4 tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, and finally we have 7 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So all together make the number 7,347. Now we've already represented the number 7,347 and it looked this way. But the question here says, can we represent the same number in a different way? So let's try to represent this number in a different way. Now, I want you to notice the number is 7,347, but I'm going to start playing with the base 10 blocks to make it look different, and we're going to prove if it's the same or not. For example, let's see if I take one of the hundreds and I regroup them in the tens place. Now, if you notice, now I have only 2 hundreds, but I have 5, 10, I have 14 tens. So let's check if that is the same as the previous number we had. Let's check on that in the next slide. Let's bring together the picture that we had with the changes in the hundreds place. Now let's check and see if the numbers we have here are the same as the ones that we had before. So the first number we had was this one, which is 7,347. But now we have something different in the second place. So when we count here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we still have 7,000. But this time we have 2 hundreds. And this time we have 5, 10, and 14 tens. And finally, we still have 7 ones. Now, my question here, is it the same number? So we don't know yet, so let's prove it. So I know that the value of the 7 is going to be 7,000. I know that the value of the 3 is going to be 300. The value of the 4 tens is going to be 40. And the value of the 7 is going to be 7. When I add those numbers together, then I'm going to have 7 ones, 4 tens, 300s, and 7,000. So my number is still going to be 7,447, which is the same as the number on the top. Now let's check on the other number. That one I'm going to work it on the top so we have more space. So we still have 7,000. So I'm going to write here the 7,000. Then I'm going to have 2 tens. I know the value of digit 2 is going to be 200. Then I have 14 tens, but I am having a hard time counting on knowing what to put on my values. So let me count by tens. 10, so let me show 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, and 140. So 14 tens makes 140. And finally, I'm going to do the 7 tens, 7 ones. So when I count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I'm going to have 7 ones. So when I add up my numbers, I'm still going to have the same number. Let's prove it. 0 ones. Remember, let's make sure that we follow the place value and that we're aligning our numbers. So when we add, we can get the right answer. So we have the ones, the tens, the hundreds, and the thousands. So I have 7 ones, I have 4 tens, 200 plus 100 makes 300, and 7,000 makes 7,000. So if you notice, 7,347 is the same number that we had before. So when we say 7 thousands, 200s, 14 tens, and 7 ones still make the number 7,347. Other ways to represent the same number are showing it in a standard form. Now remember, the standard form is the easy one because practically is to do it. Hold on a second. Okay. Practically is to write it the fastest way, which is going to be just the number 7,347. Now, what else can we do here? Oh, let me get my tool. Okay. Now, we can find the digit value of each of the numbers. We can tell what do they stand for. So let's look at some sentence strips here. Now remember, to find the value of each digit number, we have to find the place value where they are. For example, the 7 is in the thousands place. So digit 7, the value is going to be 7,000. Now another way you can listen to that is when they call you what the 7 stands for, and the 7 stands for 7,000. Now the 3 is in the hundreds place. Digit 3 is in the hundreds, so the value is going to be 300, or I can tell that the 3 stands for 300. Now the 4, it's in the tens place, because it's going to be 40, or I can tell that the digit 4 stands for 40. And finally, the 7 is in the ones place, and because it's in the ones place, the value is going to be 7. I can tell that the 7 stands for 7. Now we're going to prove it on paper to see if it's true, and when we add those numbers together, we're going to be able to see that we still. So according to what we just did, we know that the 7 stands for 7,000. The 3 stands for 300. The 4 stands for 40. And the 7 stands for 7. Now let's align the numbers so we can add them together. Oh, let me just select another tool. Here it is. Oh, it's not letting me now. Okay, let's go back. So let's do that and add those numbers together so we can prove our answer. So let's add them. 7,000 plus 300 plus 40 plus 7 is going to make the same number. 7 ones, 4 tens, 300s, and 7,000s. So far, this is so easy. Let's go for the next slide. Now this time, we're going to try to represent these numbers using the standard form, the expanded form, the word form, and the expanded notation. So let's start working on those. So the standard form, as we said before, is going to be the number represented here. So we have 7,347. So let's write it down so we don't forget. 7,347. And that becomes the standard form. So let's write it here. 7,347. Now the expanded form is going to be using the values that we have in the digit value that we did before. So we only are going to put them as an addition in a number sentence. So let's do that. So I'm going to say it is 7,000 plus 300 plus 40 plus 7. And when I add all the numbers, the answer is going to be the same, 7,347. Now the word form is using the same numbers we have. 7,347 is going to make the word form of the number that we have. So let's write it down. 7,347. Now to finish, we are going to do the expanded notation. Now the expanded notation is going to be done using the numbers that we have here, the number of cubes that we have, and the value of each cube or of each base 10 block. So let's see. Here we have, let's count together. Let me just change color so we can see it. So let's count first how many thousands we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So the first thing I'm going to do is open up parentheses, and I'm going to put that I have 7,000 cubes. Now I'm going to put the multiplication symbol, and because the 1,000 cubes, the value of each is 1,000, so I'm going to write 1,000 here. Then I'm going to add. Now, if you notice, it's being similar to the one in expanded form, but it's not the same. Now I'm going to put how many 100 base 10 blocks do we have? 1, 2, and 300 base 10 blocks. So I'm going to put 3 because we have 3, and I'm going to multiply times 100 because we're talking about the hundreds. Plus, now I'm going to go with the tens. 1 10, 2 tens, 3 tens, and 4 tens. So my next one is going to be that I have 4 tens. And because there are tens, I'm going to multiply them by 10. And finally, I'm going to do the ones. So how many ones do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So I have 7 ones. And because they're in the ones, I'm going to multiply them by 1. So I close it up. And then the answer is going to be the same because when I multiply 7 times 1,000 is going to be, let me just show you here. 7 times 1,000 is going to be 7,000. 3 times 100 is going to be 300. 4 times 10 is going to be 40. And 7 times 1 is going to be 7. So when we add these numbers, we're going to still have the same answer, which is going to be again 7,347. So that's the way you do the expanded notation. Now we can find different problems that use the same concept we have been studying, but they may look a little bit different. Like for example, here it says 6,197. 90 and 3 make which number? So to solve this problem is very easy. The only thing we have to do is place these numbers in the right spot. So let's do it together. So I have to write the 6,000 in the place value chart, which is the first number we have, which is this number here. Then we have to write the 100. So I'm going to write 100. Then I'm going to place the 90. That's 9 tens and 0 ones. And finally, I'm going to put the three ones. So when I add the numbers together, I'm going to get my answers. This is 3 ones, and 9 tens, 100, and 6 thousands. So the answer to my problem is going to be 6,190. So that's the answer. If you notice that's too easy, just do your place value chart. Let's go and see the next slide and see how that's going to look. Now we may have a different problem like this. This time they're using the expanded notation and they're telling us here what to do. So let's do what the problem is telling us to do. Here it says 5 of 1,000. So I'm going to put 5 in the 1,000. So let me do that. 5 in the thousands. Now let's look at the next one. The next one says 3 in the hundreds. So let's put the 3 in the hundreds. So I have put 3 in the hundreds. That means I have no tens and I have no ones. The next one says 4 in the tens. So let's do the 4 in the tens. So I put 4. Oh, I forgot to grab my pen. 4 tens, and that means I have no ones. And 4 tens anyways makes 40. And the last one is going to be 2 in the ones place. So let's put the 2 in the ones place. Here it is. So now that I put my number, I'm going to do the same we have been doing all the time. I'm going to add my numbers to get my result. So 5,000, because here says 5,000, right? 5,340 and 1, 5,340 and 2, I'm sorry, it's 2 ones. So let's add them together. So I have 2 ones, 4 tens, 300, and 5,000. So my answer is going to be 5,342. Now let's keep on going to the next to see what is the next problem. Now, if you notice, we have something similar. We have an expanded notation combined with expanded form, but I have a missing number here. But I know that the answer is 7,586. So what I'm going to do now is to put that number in my place value chart. So I have 7,586. And I can do the digit value. I can use that. I have the 7, the 5, the 8, and the 6. So I know that the 7 is going to become, because it's in the thousands place, is going to be 7,000. The 5, it's in the hundreds place, so it's going to be 500. The 8 is in the tens place, so it's going to be 80. And the 6 is in the ones place, so it's going to be 6. So those are the values of the digits. Now I can tell that this 500 says that I have 5 in the hundreds place, I have 8 in the tens place, and I have 6 in the ones place. So the only missing number is the 7, and I know that the 7 is going to make a 7,000. So this must be 7 times 1,000 to complete this chart. So if you notice, if you use what we are learning, it's going to be easy to find the answers. Now, to solve this kind of problem, the value of each digit in 2,639, what is it? So remember, the only thing you have to do is to write the number in your place value chart, 2,639. And now I can find the digit value. The digit value is going to be for 2,000. For the 2 is going to be 2,000. So I'm going to put 2,000. For the 6 in the hundreds place is going to be 600. For the 3 in the tens place is going to be 30. And for the 9 in the ones place is going to be 9. Remember, when we add the numbers, we're going to have the same number as the beginning. So this number is going to resemble the number on the top. Now let's go for the last part of today's lesson. Now we have the number 7,869. So the first thing I'm going to do is to put it in the place value chart, and then I'm going to find the missing answers here. So let's do it together. Now I'm going to write the 7,864 in my place value chart, and then let me see the questions that I have so we can say which digit is in the tens place. So let's find the digit in the tens place. This is the digit in the tens place. So I'm going to write down digit 6 is in the tens place. Very easy. Now here says, digit 8 stands for, now remember stands is asking for the value of the digit. So let's look for 8 in the place value chart. The 8 in the place value chart is here, and it's in the hundreds place. So the 8 stands for 800. So I'm going to write the answer. The digit 8 stands for the 800. And finally, let's look for the value of digit 7. Now let's find digit 7. Digit 7 is here in the thousands place. So the value, or I can tell again that the 7 stands for 7,000. So I'm going to write that here, 7,000. So the value of digit 7 is 7,000, or 7 stands for 7,000 too. Now this is all for now. Let's do and solve some problems together.